Hey everybody, we're back. We're doing factory I/O scene 3, filling the tank using timers. So I've already got my TIA set up. You can see I'm not matching there. That's fine. I'm actually going to go offline. This is a new project. All I have is my processor in it. I have no functions, I have no tags, I have no anything. If I go down here to factory I/O, I am just in the beginning. We'll look at and see what we're supposed to do for scene 3. It looks like click our button, we see a display here, see the light come on. It's filling for what, 10 seconds? I assume we'll hit discharge and do the opposite. Yeah, 8 seconds it looks like. Okay. Easy enough. Then it goes back to 0. So we will go to, close that out, go to scenes, go to filling the tank with timers. I'm going to use a different camera view on this one. Maybe I will. Sometimes it's hard to, there we go, getting closer. I just need to go up some. Wow, that's plenty big. Now you can see the fill, the discharge, the fill light, the discharge light, the timer. You'll be able to see when there's water coming in or out of there. So this is looking good. We got to set up our driver. Go to drivers, configure. Oh, I'm going to select which processor I have. S7-1200, configuration. That's right, that's right, that's right. We need to set our offset to 10. And in this one, we're going to set the D-word outputs to 1. And you'll see what that looks like here in a second. Let me go back. So that added this. This is a word output that is going to go to the timer. So here is that timer display on the front. We'll put that there. Here it says double integer. Whatever we send to that output is going to display on the numbers on the front of the control panel. So this looks like it is all set up. So I'll minimize, well, I'll go back to my scene first. Minimize this guy and bring up TIA. Oh, you know what I'm going to do first? I am going to export my tags. I'll go to drivers and configuration. Oh, not configuration, sorry about that. I was just thinking it was somewhere else because it's covered up by the taskbar here at the bottom for Windows. So then I hit maximize for the factory I/O window. Now you can see it. It's this little guy right here. So I'll open the folder and I will drag it to the desktop so it's easy to find. Close this, go back here, open up TIA, go to my PLC tags, show all tags, go to import. There's my file. Open. Okay. Here is all the tags. So that is a lot nicer than having to type all these out. That is for sure. And again, it's not an option on version 13. I'm not sure when it started. I have 15 right now. So it either started in 14 or 15 that you can import XML. But if you have version 13, you can't. You can only do a XLS spreadsheet, like Excel spreadsheet. Now I have all my tags. Let me go into my program blocks, add a new block. I'm going to add a function. Hit OK. Oh, I should have named it in there, but I can name it when it pops up here. I'm going to right click it and rename. There we go. I'll just call this filling block. So I'm going to do the filling block, and I'm going to leave you guys to figure out the discharge block, but it's basically the same thing, almost exactly the same. So we will go into our filling block. We will look at our tags. So these are our inputs. This is when you push the fill button. This is when you push the discharge button. These are our outputs to the fill valve to open the fill valve, and this is the filling light on the button. This is our discharge valve to discharge the water out, and this is our discharging light on the front, and then this is our timer, the numbers in the front of the enclosure. So the fill button is false or not true right now. So I need that information to know which kind of contact to put in here. So I'm going to put this guy here. So when you press that button, it'll close this contact. I already got all my tags, so I can just go straight to fill. It's input 10.0, so it's the first input since we did a 10-point offset. And I'm going to go right to a timer. So over here, if you're not in the right spot, you click on the instruction tag or tab up here. We will go to timer operations. I'm going to use a time off delay. This is going to be slightly different than the way it is in Allen Bradley. And it's going to need a data block for the memory, for the in between scans to know what the elapsed time and all that kind of stuff is. So I'm going to call it filling timer. Okay. And it's a time off, so what happens is when you press the button, it doesn't start. When you release the button and it loses its input signal is when it starts actually timing. And then the output is going to be going to the filling valve and the filling light, right? So that guy there, and put another branch underneath there with another output on it, and I will have the fill valve and the filling light. Where is it? I guess it's the fillings. That's the output there. And this should do it. Oh, I got to put my time in there. So 8 seconds they had, which will be 8,000. It's so nice not to have to fill all these tags in, having them just copied right over. So I'm going to download this and run it and just make sure that my fill is going to work for 8 seconds like I have in mind. There's only one part I'm forgetting. I got to put it in my OB1. So drag that over there, because otherwise nothing would happen. And now I'm going to right click, and you can get away with just straight downloading. A lot of the times when you just go to download, it'll compile automatically. Now it says compiling configuration. It'll compile on its own, so you don't have to do compile and download separate. On my first video, I showed it being that way just to get the idea that you compile a machine code, then you download it. But you don't have to. It'll do it all in one. And now I'm going to go online. And I will go to my function so I can monitor what is happening here. And I will hit these little glasses up here to monitor. So right now it's waiting for the fill button. It's not getting through there yet. I'm going to open up this guy, go back to here. Now if I see if I can get it so I can see it. So yeah, I can. I can see my logic up here when I hit this fill button. So I need to hit play. Now when I hit the fill, the light should light up and we should see water coming out of here. That should happen for about 8 seconds till this timer times out. There's my light on. See my timer running. 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds. That turned off, the fill valve turned off. We're good. So our fill worked. The only thing we have left to figure out on our fill is this guy. So I will minimize this. And we need to add a new network down here. We are going to take the elapsed time from here and divide it by 1,000. I'm going to go offline first. Go to network 2, and we will put a math function right here. We'll put divide. And we need to set the data type. We're going to set to double integer. And we'll take the, let's see, filling timer. Did I do that right? Maybe I don't have the right data type. Let me check this here. Now it's really not letting me select anything. what I'm trying to get for the input is the elapsed time of this timer up here. But it doesn't let you select it unless you have the right data type. I thought it was a double integer. Pretty sure that's what it was. There we go. I don't know why it did not, when I selected double integer earlier, it did not give me these options, but these are the options I was looking for. So ET is what I want right there. That'll be the elapsed time on this timer up here, coming out of there. So, I mean, you could take this out into a variable and then have that variable as the input here, but you don't have to. You can just select the ET right there. And I want it divided by 1000, so I'm going to just type that in. And then my output, I am going to make a variable, so I'm going to add another tag, all tags, and I'm going to call this, let's see, display math. Sure, it's not pretty, but it'll work. And it gave me QD104. That should work fine. It doesn't have to be that way. Actually, it can be a memory. I don't want it to be an output. This is actually an output. I want it to be a memory. It should be MD. And really, we could make it like MD0. I don't see other MDs there. Let's see if that works. Now we'll go back to our function. There's our MD0 display math, and that's just an interim variable that we're going to use in between the division and the subtraction. We're going to take a sub over here from the math functions. This is subtract. So we're going to go 8, because it's 8 seconds, minus that display math variable, and it automatically selected double integer there because of what I selected for input 2. And the out is going to go to the timer display, that QD100. That is what is going to be, that's the output that's going to display on the numbers on the front of the enclosure. So let's try this. We'll go to download software only changes, because we haven't changed anything in hardware. Load, and go online. And I usually hit that anyway, just to see. Let's see what it looks like right now. Oh, went to 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and that is this number here. Actually, it's this number going out. It's 8 minus that. Reason being, it goes back to 0. So in the example that they showed, it goes back to 0. If I didn't do it this way, I forget. So I did it without this subtract before, and it ends up like never being a 0. It always stays at 1, something like that. And if you don't have any of this and you just have your elapsed time come out, it also doesn't look like their example. So this one, I can't discharge, but hit fill, it'll go to 8, count all the way down to 0, and then stay at 0, which is what they showed in the example. Goes to 0, that turns off, that turns off. So if you want to do the discharge, it's almost the exact same thing. So the discharge is going to be, so here's one difference. The fill, the buttons are different physical contacts. So if you go to the drivers, the discharge button is true by default, so it's normally closed contacts on that button. The fill button has normally open contacts, real world contacts on the physical button. So the discharge, when you're writing your logic for the discharge button, this is going to have to be a normally closed. Otherwise, it'll be getting the signal to be closed all the time. And then you'll have a timer like this, and you'll have the discharge valve and the discharge light, and you'll have something similar to this to show the countdown. So it'll also go 8 and count down on discharge, just like the example. You might have to mess around with moving, show you instructions. You might have to use a move instruction to move 0 in there to get it. When you have both when you have the discharge and the fill, we'll have a network in them that is trying to write something into this output D100 to the timer, you might have to have a move function to put 0 in there if neither of the fill valve or the discharge valve are open. It should automatically move 0 in there to 0 it out, because I think there's going to be some conflicts if you don't do it that way. Here's the move operations, and the first one is move. And if you drag a move over, there's just, is it enabled? So here's where you'd have the instructions that say if neither of the other valves are open, so it would be in series, like 2 normally opens tied to the fill valve and the discharge valve, and it wouldn't be here, it'd be in its own network. And then you'd move, you put 0 here, and you're moving 0 into that D100 output. So you're overwriting whatever's currently residing in memory with a 0, so it updates the output to 0. I'm not doing that because I'm not going to do the I'm not going to do the discharge part of it. I'm going to let you do that. So right here, click it, counts down 8 to 0, light stays on, valve stays open. When it gets to 0, that light goes out, fill stops. That's it. So now your part of it is, after you write that, is to click the discharge button, which does nothing right now. Have it go 8, count down to 0 with the discharge valve open and this red light open as it gets lower and lower. And that's it. Good luck.